some things that are easy, make our life easier, aren't necessarily designed for our health,
Yeah.
and I think the DoorDash example is a perfect example of that, right? Like during the pandemic, it's kind of it's great, right? It's because we're stressed out, we don't want to go out to eat, you don't want to go to the grocery store, maybe, you don't want to be around a lot of people, right? And then so having your meals delivered directly to you through an app like that, it can be wonderful, right? But
Hey everyone, this is Aaron and Juwan, and you're listening to Wellness for Real People. This show is for people who are on the go, busy, and looking for ways to live their best lives. We focus on wellness topics in mindfulness, exercise, diet, and sleep, and share quick actionable tactics to improve your health and wellness. We're not perfect, but we're trying to get a little better each day. Let's grow on this journey together.
All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Wellness for Real People, presented by Can Do Tea. My name is Juwan, here with my co-host Aaron, and today we're talking about an article from the Mayo Clinic, and it goes through some tips for living younger and living longer by preventing disease. So I thought it was a really quick read, and it's also a part of a podcast that they do over there. And I just thought there were some great insights that we're going to discuss with you today. There's Dr. Stephen Kopecky talks about a great tool for helping to prevent disease. And so we'll talk through that, and we'll just share a few personal stories and updates, from our lives. So looking forward to this discussion. To kick things off, did you know that actually January 17th is the date that most Americans, the average American, breaks their New Year's resolution? I thought that was fascinating. We didn't even get through the month of
didn't even make it the whole month, right?
Yeah. But I think that speaks to just how challenging, the headwinds we're facing when it comes to, changing some of our habits, and just, some of the ways that things are set up in society to make life, some things that are designed to make life easier, but actually maybe not be designed for optimizing our health. And so I know we'll get into some of that a little bit later, but the Dr. Kopecky talked about the importance of focusing on small steps that add up over time, instead of trying to do too much too soon, and then getting frustrated, or reverting back to our old habits. So I really like that approach, and that's something that we talk a lot about on the show. He's a preventative cardiologist, and he says, one of the quotes that I loved, he said, I think the answer is to make small sustainable steps that you can live with. And when I say small steps, like for diet, I tell patients one bite of something healthy, right? So that small, that right, micro, minuscule, right? Or take some processed foods off of your plate and replace it with something like a legume, or a bean. And after a couple of years of that, that one bite, those little steps makes a positive difference, and will help lower your risk of, heart attack and other cardiovascular issues. And so he gave a great acronym, and I'm a big fan of acronyms. We specifically love the MEDS acronym, and that's kind of the theme of the show, right? From terms of mindfulness, exercise, right, diet, and sleep. And the Dr. Kopecky's acronym was actually NEWS, and it's nutrition, exercise, weight management, and then S with 3 S's, because it's a sleep, stress, or 4 S's: sleep, stress, smoking, and spirits, as it relates to alcohol. All right, so we're going to talk through some of the highlights that he shared, and yeah. So, Aaron, why don't you kick us off talking through kind of some of the things you liked around nutrition and healthy eating?
Yeah, so that was the first one that kind of stood out to me, and something that I've seen an impact on really since we started doing this show and trying to make some positive changes in my life, and starting to see those come to fruition in terms of, weight loss and just feeling better overall, having more energy, not getting sick as often, is really just changing my habits around what I'm eating. So kind of getting rid of a lot of the bad stuff. It takes a lot of effort to do that, right? It's like, it's so easy to grab a bag of chips or to order from DoorDash and get like your favorite, your favorite restaurant quality food. But, those things really didn't serve me or my family well at all. It was like, tastes delicious. It's very convenient, but, we all were suffering from like weight management issues and health issues. So one of the shifts we did was a home delivery program where they deliver the meals and you cook them at home. They're kind of like quick, easy to cook, but it takes care of all that hard work of planning, and it just gets delivered to your door once a week, and you have meals for the whole week that you can cook. So that was kind of transformational, but it took a while to get into the habit. I like, even sometimes I was cooking, but not necessarily cooking all the meals. Like I'd waste a meal here and there, or wouldn't eat the leftovers. But Dr. Kopecky said it also kind of takes 3 weeks for a habit to really start to kick in and start to take hold. So it makes sense. It took a little bit of time, but we've stuck with it, and we're starting to see some positive outcomes from it. But I think it's one of those things where it's, like he mentioned, you can't just change it overnight. You can't go from like having this unhealthy diet and then just all of a sudden flipping it and going into like the Mediterranean diet or the, paleo or whatever it is. It's like those kind of things are short-lived. And like oftentimes I've tried that in the past in my personal life, and I do it for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe like, the New Year's resolution up until the middle of the month. And then I'm like going back to old habits because it's easy and something that you don't have to think about. Because, once you have to start thinking about it, your brain gets frustrated and you have other things going on, you just resort back to bad eating. So that one related to me a lot. It's something I'm still working on every single day, is nutrition, picking the right options and just adding that healthy little piece of something on the plate. So, okay, maybe you might go out, but instead of having the fries, have a side salad, right? Something simple like that. You can still enjoy the burger, maybe get a salad instead of the fries, but it's hard. It's really hard, but something that, constantly have to work on. And
Yeah.
then, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I want to jump in there. And
Yeah.
like I was mentioning at the top of the show, right? Like some things that are easy, make our life easier, aren't necessarily designed for our health,
Yeah.
and I think the DoorDash example is a perfect example of that, right? Like during the pandemic, it's kind of it's great, right? It's because we're stressed out, we don't want to go out to eat, you don't want to go to the grocery store, maybe, you don't want to be around a lot of people, right? And then so having your meals delivered directly to you through an app like that, it can be wonderful, right? But if we're not careful about it, then it can become a habit, and then we end up like eating the wrong thing because they make it so easy. Just a few
So
clicks,
easy.
few taps. They got your card information in there already. They got your ad, everything, right? And so
Comes
they
right to your
save your
door.
favorites, right? Make it super easy sometimes to not necessarily make the best choices. And I know I sometimes I don't trust myself, right? When it comes to sometimes some of those things. So sometimes elimination is the best thing. Just not even having the option or the app for me is what is the only way I can stay away from, because I know if I had it right there on my fingertips, oh, it's a game over. I'm
Right. It was just so easy. And then number two, E for exercise. So something that I've been working on a lot is just kind of figuring out ways to do small exercises. Cause I mentioned this in previous episodes where I, tried to go big and fell off track after a while. And so really trying to do things daily has kind of been my focus ever since we started the show, and starting to see some changes. It's not dramatic, but I've seen like my resting heart rate lower over the last 14 weeks, from where it was like at a 79 to now it's at 71, right? Not necessarily like the best shape you could possibly be. I'd rather be like closer to 50, but it's better, right? And that's just because little things, changing eating, walking, doing a few little exercises around the house. Like I have been going like to the gym like that, but it's still doing something every single day. A little walk, a little bit of running, a little bit of something has made some changes already. I'm starting to see that. But then I also start to, feel more rewarded when I do more. And I'm starting to get excited about the opportunity to get into things like doing a 5K or getting into like some kind of fitness exercise routine with weights, but it starts small. Because whenever I try to go big and try to change things overnight, it just doesn't stick. So it's nice to see that that's definitely one of the key compass points and something that I've been really trying to work on lately.
Great. Yeah, and I really like that what the doctor mentioned just around kind of what you already said, right? Not necessarily going for a whole routine, a whole 62-point plan, but he's mentioned even just 20 minutes a day, right, can help quell inflammation, boost immunity, and dividing it up throughout the day, right? So sometimes that's a sticky point for me is, I think I gotta just have a solid block where I work out. And normally that tends to work. Well, I usually do it in the morning now, before I get my day started, right? But really rethinking that, so I still do my traditional workout during the day. But if that's all you do during the day, and you just sit at your desk for the rest of the day, that's still not great for
Right.
for your body, for your mind, for your health, right? And so
Right.
breaking it up into little increments throughout the day, I think is something that's really, really important. And so one thing, that I've been working on is just trying to also just take a little walk, right? For my when I'm on it, when I need a break from work, right? Just take a walk around the block, or after lunch and dinner, right? Just take a quick 10-15 minute walk, right? And just breaking it up that way, so it's not so daunting. Think I have to work out for a whole hour
Wow,
and find
yeah.
some time to squeeze out a whole hour all at once, right? Which is not necessarily
It's
realistic
tough
or
too, because like
sustainable.
sometimes, like if you don't have the equipment at home, you got to go to the gym, you got to get ready, like get the right, outfit on, get into the workout, get through the workout. Then you have like the rest of the day to like get back into your work clothes or get back to do whatever you got to do afterwards. It's just like it's one more thing that's a barrier to overcome, which can be overcome for sure. But you could get it done in other ways.
Right, right, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. The next one he talked about was managing stress and how important that was. He said, calming activities and supportive relationships. What I think is a big one we don't talk about enough, right? That having the right relationships in your life, and having that, just positive, supportive peer group, and family relationships, work relationships, right? Romantic relationships. How important, you know having those supportive relationships are to keeping our stress levels down, right? But when we can have those calming activities and supportive relationships, it can help reduce cortisol production, which we've talked about in several episodes. Is one of those kind of nasty things that if we don't control it, can create a lot of inflammation and negative side effects in long term for our health, and can also help enhance the immune system's function. And so, we mentioned just some simple activities like, practicing mindfulness, stepping away from the things that are causing you anxiety for a moment, going for a walk, taking a break, going out in nature for a little while, just sitting out in nature, how just something it's free, right? And something that can just, help calm you down a little bit, ease some of that anxiety, some of that tension, meditating, things like yoga, gardening, arts and crafts are all things that, we can do daily to help with managing that stress. And sometimes I think it has to be some big major, big production of some big thing that's going to solve the stress thing, but it's often these very little simple things, right? That if we can, like you mentioned before, can just do them consistently and incorporate them into our lifestyle and our routine, can make a positive impact in helping us keep that stress level down. So I thought that was great. And then the other big thing that he talked about was the importance of getting enough sleep. And he said when your immune system response kicks in, it kind of changes your sleep. And I thought this was really, really interesting. He said you may find yourself sleeping longer when your immune system stages an attack against a virus, right? Or on the other hand, if you're not sleeping well, you may notice that you get sick more easily. So this idea of your immune system working and impacting, helping you fight off, disease and viruses. But you gotta give it the support by being able to get enough rest, get enough quality sleep, so that everything can function properly. Um, So yeah, he said getting adequate sleep can help support the way your immune system functions by increasing, the immune cells circulating throughout your body. So I thought that was really, really powerful. Anything you wanted to add there on the sleep side of things?
Yeah, no, I just, it's such a critical thing to see how that helps improve, like, overall how you feel. It's just when you don't get enough sleep, it's one of the things he said is like, you can't make up for it, right? You can always add things to your diet and have like, a few more beans, some more nutritious vegetables and things like that. But it's like you can't get that sleep back, so it's really like trying to create the right habits to get you into the zone, to have a sleep schedule that works, because there's never a reality where you're catching up on sleep, because once it's gone, it's gone. You just missed it. And then, like you said, you're likely to get sick and have to deal with other issues and diseases and potential other, cardiovascular challenges down the road. So it's one of those things that's like I've really had to take seriously in going forward, is trying to figure out how to get the most sleep possible and get good quality sleep at that.
Yeah, no, great points. So to close things out, I love this quote from the doctor. He said, "We cannot prevent aging. We can slow aging, but we can prevent disease. It's certainly possible to do. And if we adopt a certain healthy lifestyle, we can affect that." And I thought that was really, really powerful. There's a lot of information out there, a lot of marketing, right? They're talking about, anti-aging, or get more, be more youthful, or
Yes.
these kinds of
Or
things.
the
And it's
ones that like bug me too now, it's like some people that are taking like diabetic drugs just to lose weight. It's just absurd to me. It's like people that actually need that so they could live, but you're just taking it because, you want a quick solution to lose 25 pounds or whatever. It's like stuff like that has really happened, believe it or not. Like people are doing stuff like that. It just blows my mind. And it's achievable. It's not easy and overnight, but it's like way more sustainable and healthy to do it the right way, and that's why, again, like you can't really prevent some of these things, but if you're like trying to do these quick fixes, it's just not going to work, man. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like there's definitely some long-term health issues that got to come with something like that. And the only thing that can really change that is a healthy lifestyle.
yeah, yeah, I think one of the benefits of getting older is you get a little bit more wisdom, hopefully, right? And so, I guess the goal for me is not necessarily to stop aging, right? That's just it's just gonna happen. I'm not in
Yeah.
denial about that. That's just life,
Yeah.
As much as I want to be young forever, it's just not gonna happen. What I love about what he said, right, is just around um but we can prevent a lot of bad things from happening. Some things are just hereditary. I get that. But there are some things that are in our control, and that a lot of that comes down to our daily habits,
Yep.
right? And making sure that we have the right habits in place, and treat our bodies and our minds well, so that as we get older, they can continue to serve us well. And so, this was another great article. Great. We'll link to it in the show notes, just about, how do we continue to develop and live a healthy lifestyle, so we can live well and live as long as possible. So, any other thoughts you had, Aaron?
No, that's it, man. I think this is a good one.
All right. Well, thank you all again for watching, for listening, for tuning in wherever you're at. We appreciate, your support. Hopefully you're getting some value out of these episodes. If you are, feel free to leave a comment, or leave a rating on the show. It helps get the show out to more people. And again, we'll be back with more episodes in the future, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.